All right, so welcome to Maximize Your College Experience. Just my camera. My name is Zane, and I'm the student engagement specialist here. So I work alongside with Erica. We do a plethora of different things, like a lot of our leadership programs, clubs and organizations, student government, events, activities, and much more. So definitely, feel free to reach out to either of us. I can put our email in the chat, and any questions about getting involved, how to get involved, any of our leadership programs, please feel free to email that email because it'll come to myself, Erica, and Rochelle Pop-Finch. All right, so we kind of, just as a little bit of a refresher, we actually just recently switched our name and our brand over to student engagement. We used to be called the student activities team, but now we are the student engagement team. So if you see things that maybe say student activities and student engagement, it's the same thing. We're still in the we're like getting into that rebranding mode. So just keep that in mind when you see that. So a couple different things, kind of like I mentioned. Student engagement deals a lot with Campus Coalition Government, which is our student government that we have here on campus. Our 60 Things Every Pioneer Should Do, which is something we're going to talk about. River Life, and our Emerging Leaders program. So our Campus Coalition Government is essentially our student government here at the campus. So they act as the voice for the student body. So anytime you guys have any comments, concerns, issues, questions, really anything, and you please bring it up to the student government. You are more than welcome to attend our CCG meetings every other Wednesday from 12:30 to 1:30. All of the meetings are on River Life and on Facebook, so feel free to check it out. We will be, I think we are in the process of trying to get a new board, so elections are going to be happening soon. So just keep those things in mind. So if you are interested in being on the student government team, give us a shout out. You can send us an email, and I'm pretty sure on River Life you have the form to fill out if you are interested. So
today's the last day. If you are thinking about running for office, you do have to be an officer of an organization or have been in the last 2 years. So not just the CCG rep. So you do have to have held a position within one of the clubs or organizations, or even on one of the committees. Thank you.
Thank you, Erica, for jumping in. So Erica does deal a lot more with the student government. So if you do happen to apply, you will be working definitely directly with her, and probably see me popping in and out. So Pioneer 60. Pioneer 60 is a path in River Life that we just created. And essentially what it is it pretty much helps you develop like yourself as a campus leader, or just really like get involved in the campus as a whole. So it's basically, and if I don't think I have a bookmark right now in front of me, but it's a bookmark that we created that we translated to be online. So that way, basically it'll ask you things like visit our health and wellness center, go to a local beach, go to an athletic game. So all these things can be completed while you're here at the college. So that way, once you graduate, you have a full, well-rounded experience while being at IRSC. On the paths in River Life, you are able to actually upload photos into each of the path items. And then once you upload the photos and you're all done with this, it's kind of cool. You're going to have a collage of all your pictures throughout the year, and you'll be earning it's actually a picture frame that says #Pioneer60 on it. And it is a unique gift that we actually created in our office. We created the logo as well. So it's something, just again, an incentive for you to get involved on campus. This is not kind of like Emerging Leaders. Emerging Leaders has a deadline. This does not. You can start it now and finish it in 4 years, when you're done. It's just, again, just to get you kind of starting that networking process and getting involved at the college. All right, so our little slogan that we have is connect, get involved, lead, succeed. I know it doesn't say lead, succeed on here, but we are, again, in the process of rebranding. So we want to connect you to all the resources here at IRSC. We want you to get involved. We want you to lead. And at the end of it all, we want you to succeed. So whenever we talk about River Life, which I'm sure you guys have heard about before, it's pretty much our online student portal that deals with a lot of our events and activities and clubs and organizations and things like that. So and I'm not going to go too deep into River Life because that is Erica. She's going to go into that. But again, you can keep up to date with activities and events, join different student organizations. Thank you, Hunter, for putting that in the chat. You can network with your other students in college departments, upload pictures on there, access leadership development, develop your co-curricular transcript, etc. Now we have our Emerging Leaders program. So our Emerging Leaders program is one of our top leadership programs that we have here. It's one of the, one of our favorite leadership programs that we have as well. Pretty much it helps you get the most out of your college experience. Now the way Emerging Leaders is set up, which again in River Life 411, Erica will be able to show you in the paths how to get to that. So when you're in that path, it'll show you items that you have to complete. And some of the items are like attend a leadership conference or seminar, do a movie reflection, different things that way it kind of can help develop you as a leader. A lot of the people who join Emerging Leaders, they're making these lasting friends. They are networking with so many different people. You're able to meet the college president, talk to different important people around campus. And really nowadays, it's not what you know, it's who you know. So when you are networking on campus, just kind of keep that in mind just to make like a good lasting impression. So the one thing that's also really cool about Emerging Leaders is once you graduate from the program, you get a beautiful medallion and a certificate, and you get to be recognized at graduation. Now, after Emerging Leaders, we do have another leadership program called Legacy Leaders. But you do have to complete Emerging Leaders to go into the Legacy Leaders program. And I kind of like to look at it as like a big brother, big sister type of scenario where the Legacy Leaders are kind of like the big brothers, big sisters of Emerging Leaders. They are the ones who will be helping you along the journey. They're going to be the ones who do the leadership seminars. So it's just kind of like a step up in the leadership programs that we have. All right, so another initiative that we have, the student engagement team has, is we have actually implemented I Heart My IRSC murals across all of the campuses. So we have a lovely thing that we like to ask students is to go around and take a picture and share on social media using the hashtag #ILoveMyIRSC. And the mural actually looks exactly like this right over here. So if you are on the main campus, we have one in V110, and we also have it in the KSU right by the bookstore. And here are all the other locations around campus. Again, it's just to create that school spirit, foster that school spirit, that student engagement here at the college is what we're striving for. So definitely take advantage if you ever come on campus to check that out. So a couple things that we're going to talk about when it comes to maximizing your college experiences is, following your academic plan, managing your time, investing in a planner, all these great things that kind of can help you become more of a well-rounded student. So the first thing I'm going to discuss is invest in a planner. One of the greatest things I've probably ever done is invest in a planner. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy. I used to get like a really fancy one when I was in college and get like the matching pens and, highlight different things and like just make it really, really pretty, because at the time I just really enjoyed doing that. And it kind of helps me check off my goals a lot quicker. Now I really just like having a desk calendar because I can see everything right in front of me. So really it just depends on your preference. Some people like virtual calendars. I also really enjoy my virtual planner, my virtual calendar where I put everything in there. So it really just depends, but it'll help you be able to really organize your time. So you can input all your classes, your sections, your schedules, tutoring, all that good stuff. A lot of us also work while we're in school, so you can input your work schedule in there, and then you're kind of able to figure out, okay, maybe I have an essay due in 2 weeks, I have work on this day, I might be able to go out and see my friends possibly Saturday, and you're just better, it's easier just for you to manage your time that way. You can add in different extracurricular events and activities that you may have. Maybe you have kids at home that have different soccer games and things like that. So just having that planner for you to really organize your time and maximize your time is something that we really recommend. One thing that I like to do is on Sunday night, because I use a virtual calendar, I look at my phone and I pull up my calendar for the week just so I can prepare like what do I have to walk into on Monday? Like, what do I expect? Even at the simple fact of like, okay, if I have 2 different tours on this day, maybe I don't want to wear heels and a dress. Maybe I want to wear something a little bit more comfy. I mean, just as a simple fact of that. So it's really just be able for you to envision your time and envision how the week is going to go. So again, like I talked about envisioning your ideal week. One thing I also used to do when I was in school was take all of my syllabi from all my classes, and then all of the important dates like test dates, due dates, even class times, I would input them into my planner like from start to finish, from the beginning of the class to the end of class. That way I knew, okay, I have this paper due this time, this paper due this time, and it's, again, just helps you envision that schedule for yourself. That is something that I did, and I also color coded every single class. So like my math class was blue, my science class was green, or what have you. And any type of major personal extracurricular events, like I mentioned, it's definitely important to kind of add those in there, because I know we are very forgetful people sometimes, and sometimes it's just really good to have those in there. And again, if you use a virtual one, you can use your virtual calendar on your phone, because you can use the reminders and things. And those reminders, they really help me. So a graduation speech. One of the things we like to talk about whenever you come to, get to know us and, come to campus is kind of envisioning or beginning with the end in mind. You want to envision the end of your journey here at the college. Kind of imagine, like, if you were chosen to speak at graduation, what are the things that you would highlight? Are you going to highlight the fact that you literally just came to your classes and went home and, that was it? All you did was go to and from? Or do you want to highlight the fact that maybe you were in clubs and organizations, you were meeting people, you met some friends for life, you went out, you had fun, you also did really well in school. So just kind of keep that in mind, like, what experiences do you want to leave IRSC with? I know I tell people all the time that my college experience was one of the greatest times of my life. I loved it so much that I came back and decided I wanted to work for higher ed because of how much I loved my college experience. And so I definitely think it's important for you to keep that in mind. This is like such a good opportunity for you, and a lot of people may not have the opportunity to come back to college or to come to college at all. So really just take advantage of all the resources that we have available to you, all the options that we have available to you. I mean, we are literally here to help you succeed. So please ask us questions, and anything that you guys ever need, please feel free to reach out, because again, we're here to try to make that experience for you as seamless and as good and great as possible. So just kind of keep that in mind when you start. Like, what do you want to leave here with? You have some goals, because you always want to work towards those goals. Speaking of goals, it's really important to have personal goals. So even though, college does, you want to pay attention to your grades, your GPA, but it's not just about that. It's about your growth as an individual. So it's about, you growing as a person, meeting new people, learning new things, overcoming different obstacles. And any type of personal goals can be really anything. So for example, I want to build a better workout routine. I want to wake up early and start my day, at a decent time. I want to work on my spiritual well-being. I want to be financially secure. So it can be any of those personal goals. For example, I have a personal goal that I have been achieving for the most part since for the new year, is I'm trying to drink a gallon of water a day. So that is a personal goal that I am trying to achieve, because when I do that, it helps me become more alert, more awake. I'm hydrated. I feel good on the inside. So that way, in turn, my progress or my output is going to be positive, because it just makes me feel good. So just kind of keep those things in mind. It can be any type of goal. And I understand sometimes your own school personal goal might be, to get some sort of letter of recommendation and things like that. But just kind of think of like what you want for your own personal self that could just be maybe like besides school. Excuse me. So think about your future. So it's funny, whenever I hear the word future, the first thing I think of in my head is my dad, because he always harped on thinking about our future, always think about your future, your future, your future. And he was right. So it's definitely important for you to think about your future and what you want for yourself. So you want to be able to build that foundation for yourself now when you can while you're here. Again, like I mentioned, we have a bunch of resources available to you. So once you get out into the real world and once you graduate, you may not have all those available resources for you. So it might be a little bit harder. So being able to utilize the resources like our resume template, or the co-curricular transcript that we have, our career coach, things like that is definitely something that we recommend. So like I was talking about the resume templates, experiences help shape your resume. So on your resume, you may not have that many things on there right now, and that is okay. Things that you can add on there is if you're like a club president or a club vice president, or if you are, even if you're a member of a club, or if you are a part of emerging leaders or NSLS, or let's say even volunteering, or any of your, if you have a job, great, you can put your job on there. If not, put volunteer hours, internships. So all these things are going to help build that resume for you. You can use RiverLife to track your academic achievements, leaderships, and work experiences, because that way, you know, sometimes I feel like we get so caught up in like we forget what we end up doing because there's just so much going on. So being able to maintain that and keep that in RiverLife so you can always go back and check is definitely a really great resource. Be inspired to fill your resume with meaningful experiences. So I was once told by a professor that a lot of jobs look at your resume for like, especially if you apply to like big companies maybe, they will, and you know, where they get like tons of applications, they look at your resume for a total of like 5 seconds, and sometimes it's even less than 5 seconds. So you don't want your resume to be filled with a bunch of jargon or a bunch of stuff that's like, you know, long sentences, long words and things, or I guess more long sentences, because you want somebody to be able to look at your resume. If you think about the 5 seconds, you take your resume, you look at it, you flip it back and forth, or however long it is, somebody can make a decision that you would be a somewhat of a potential good hire within those 5 seconds. So make it short, concise, but again, make those things meaningful. And I think creating a resume is kind of a little bit tough. I definitely struggled with it when I was starting to make my resume. So using our Career Services Center in the W building here at the main campus, or the Massey campus rather, is a great resource that you can use, because they will definitely be able to walk you through the steps on how to create that perfect resume. And again, discover your passion. So it is okay if you don't know what you want to do. That is totally fine. Just as an example, I started off here at IRSC and I thought I wanted to be an orthodontist. And then I switched to psychology. And then I got a minor in business administration because I thought maybe I wanted to go the business route. And then I got my master's in higher education, and now I'm working towards my PhD in higher education. So total like roller coaster switch and shifts of things, but it's okay. I found my passion. I found my passion a little bit later. I found it after I graduated with my bachelor's degree. So I knew that if I wanted to pursue further education, I would get it in what I really wanted. So just kind of keep those things in mind. It is totally okay if you don't know what you want to do. It'll come to you, I promise. Take a quick sip of water, 1 second. Okay. So our career coach. So like I mentioned, it might have, maybe you don't know what you want to do, or maybe you don't know what you're good at yet. And again, it's totally fine. You can actually take a quiz that'll help you find out what career will best suit your personality. And I used to think these were all kind of like, like, I don't know, I don't really believe them. Well, I'm not gonna lie to you, I definitely took it a couple times in my undergrad years, and it always told me that I needed to be in education or be a teacher. And here I am, and maybe in my end goal, I do want to be a professor at the end of my journey. So it's kind of interesting. I always told myself I never wanted to go into education, and here I am. So never say never. But finding those careers that do your personality is really great. If you're more of an introvert, maybe you don't want to be working with people directly. Maybe you don't want to be out in the sales area. Maybe you want to be a little bit more behind the scenes or working on a computer. Whereas if you're extroverted, you probably want to be out there and out in the open and talk to people, get to know people. So just keep those things in mind. You definitely don't want to get a job that you don't like or something, because I think it's really important to wake up every day and really love what you do. And as much as it hurt me to wake up and go to work today because spring break is over, I'm still really happy to be here. And did I quote Justin Bieber? Oh, Never Say Never, of course. Love him. Shout out to Bieber. He put out a new album this weekend. You guys should go listen to it. So anyway, Erica, definitely take advantage of those options. Now you got me stuck on Bieber. I don't remember what I was saying. But like I mentioned, our Career and Transfer Services is here at the W Building on the Massey campus. They will do resume building, internship workshops, job banks. If you're looking for a job, you can go over there and check that out. They will even help you as an alumni as well, which is really great. So once you graduate from here, if you need help with your resume building and things like that, check them out. I utilize them as an alumni as well. So they're a great, great resource that we have on campus. All right, grad school choices. So I love talking about grad school because I recently graduated with my master's, so I kind of just went through the whole process. So it's kind of like fresh in my mind. So when it came to grad school, you want to identify your top 3 grad school choices. Now, what I did is I found out the program that I wanted to be in, and I took my journal and I wrote down every single school in Florida that offered the program that I wanted to be in. And then I started kind of like, I would look at the tuition, I would look at if it was a public, a private, their GPA requirements, their GRE requirements, and I would scratch off every single one that I felt like didn't meet my needs or my goals. Some were online, some were in person, and things like that. So once I narrowed it down to about 2 to 3 that I really liked, I applied to those schools. Actually, I think I applied to 2. So I applied to those 2 schools. I had to study for the GRE, which if you don't know, the GRE is kind of like a big version of the SAT. It's really just a standardized test. It's 4 hours. You have to, I think it's English, writing, and math, I believe. And again, it's 4 hours, proctored exam, similar to the SAT, and you will get your score, and that's, that'll help you get into grad school. I used to be really scared of the GRE. It is not that scary. I do know if you take it, I think it is, what am I trying to say? It's eligible for like 5 years. So if you take it, let's say, and you get your master's and you want to eventually get your PhD, as long as you get it within that 5-year range, you don't have to take the GRE again, which is great. I didn't have to take it again because nobody wants to sit for 4 hours doing a test. But definitely become familiar with things like that. There's a lot of online resources. I used a website called Magoosh, Magoosh, that helped me study for the GRE. So it's really just kind of becoming familiar with all these items and all these options, and really just doing your research on it. So definitely take it seriously if you are interested in going to grad school. It's not as scary as it seems. It's kind of like, I feel like if I can do it, anybody can do it. So just kind of, again, do your research on it and really take it seriously. It's a whole nother ball game of learning for sure. So I recommend to everybody to go to grad school. It's completely different than undergrad, and don't let it scare you if you struggled in undergrad or you struggle during your time here. You may not struggle in grad school because it's a little bit different. So just kind of keep those things in mind. And thank you, Erica. She posted about the GRE. I know if there's anyone in here who is a senior or who is looking to graduate, I know some schools have waived the GRE requirements because of COVID. I don't know if they brought them back though, but just kind of keep that in mind if you are a senior. But definitely check out that ETS website that Erica posted is, I think, the main website for the GRE. So yeah. All right, so keep in the know. We have a Facebook, we have an Instagram, and we have a Twitter. I don't manage the Twitter. The Twitter is our main college account, but the Facebook and the Instagram, our office manages. We post a lot on there. So definitely follow us. We have, at the end of each month, we have an Instagram giveaway, which is really cool. So we pick a follower from our following, and we mail out a little goodie bag. We do a lot of different things like trivias. We do Facebook and Instagram lives. So definitely follow us on social media. Keep in touch with us. And again, oops, I have to see, as you see, it says student activities. Sometimes if you see anything that says student activities anywhere, let us know because we do need to update it. But anywhere, if you guys have any questions at all, Feel free to email us in the chat. I put our email. And yeah, do you guys have any questions before Erica begins her River Life 411?